Hi everyone, it's Tara Bianca with Be Light Transformative Therapy, and today I want to talk a bit about this concept of CO2 tolerance, what it is, why it's meaningful, and ways in which we can improve it. Okay, so first things first, why do we breathe? What is the driver to breathe? Most people think it's oxygen, right? We breathe because we need to take in more oxygen. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below before I continue on with this video. The truth is, CO2 is the driver to breathe. We breathe because we need to blow off CO2. So CO2 levels in the bloodstream start to rise right before we're about to exhale, and as they elevate in the bloodstream, they send a warning signal to the respiratory centers in our brain that say, okay, Tara, it's time to breathe. And this is a totally natural process which is happening all the time. And this process really assists with helping to balance the pH of the blood, and it also assists with how oxygen is getting distributed around the body. Okay, so if it's a natural process, then what's this whole tolerance thing about? Most simply, CO2 tolerance is your ability to tolerate elevated levels of CO2 in your blood without experiencing stress or reactivity. Some people have a low CO2 tolerance or a low CO2 threshold, meaning that the respiratory centers of their brain are sending a warning signal to breathe way before they're anywhere even close to an emergency situation. So it's this sort of preemptive warning signal that's not really warranted. So in other words, their calibration is really off. And the result of this poor calibration or this low CO2 tolerance is that these individuals are likely to experience some amount of anxiety, maybe a higher perceived level of stress. They may be more prone to panic disorder. They're probably not sleeping that well. They probably have a difficult time focusing. They may not be digesting their food effectively, and very likely they have no idea how to truly relax. Maybe you know a person like this, or maybe you are a person like this. So this is a really important concept to understand. What would cause someone to have this poorly calibrated CO2 threshold? It's definitely being driven in part by a dysfunctional breathing pattern. So what's the root cause of that dysfunctional breathing pattern then? It could come from some past trauma that was never resolved in the body. It could come from poor breathing habits, a history of poor breathing habits, including things like allergies, asthma, sinus infections, nasal polyps, a deviated septum, etc. Or it could stem from poor eating habits or poor sleeping habits. And the thing is, it's cyclical. So you have this dysfunctional breathing pattern, which is driving you to have this lower CO2 tolerance. And then this low CO2 tolerance continues to drive the dysfunctional breathing pattern. So it can be a really tough cycle to break, and it definitely requires you to have some awareness and also a strong desire to change it. Okay, so now what does it mean to improve your CO2 tolerance? Well, CO2 is still going to be the driver to breathe, and elevated levels of CO2 in the blood are still going to send that warning signal to the respiratory centers of your brain. However, having a higher CO2 tolerance means that you either, number one, have a lot more time before those warning bells go off, and or number two, you still sense those warning bells, but you have completely shifted your interpretation of what they mean. So as you start to sense that CO2 is elevating, you don't immediately freak out and go immediately into a stress response or a fear response, and consequently, you don't need to immediately go into reactivity. So higher CO2 tolerance means that you delay the sensation of air hunger, you delay the sensation of breathlessness, you delay the sensation of perceived stress, and you delay the sensation of fatigue. So we often equate high CO2 tolerance with overall resilience, mental, emotional, and physiological. So how do we improve CO2 tolerance? All the things I always tell you guys. So the more you can improve your functional breathing throughout all your daily activities, the more you will start to improve your CO2 tolerance. Well, what does that look like in application? That means breathing nasal, slow, deep, quiet, and light as much as possible all day while at rest. It means absolutely breathing nasally at night, so that might require mouth taping if you have some amount of sleep disordered breathing. And it's probably going to mean reevaluating how you are breathing during exertion and during your workouts. So is your breathing matching your metabolic demands, or are you over breathing? Are you immediately defaulting to mouth breathing long before you need to? Specific breath holding exercises can also be really valuable for helping to improve your CO2 tolerance rather quickly. For example, in my 4-week breath bootcamp, I teach you guys something called intermittent hypoxic hypercapnic training, which includes some pretty tough exercises which are not necessarily right for everybody, which is why I don't teach them on my YouTube channel. But if you are a reasonably fit and healthy individual without any serious underlying medical conditions, then those exercises can be really great and super useful. And also, reduced breathing exercises throughout the day can also be extremely valuable. So this would be something like the breathe light exercise that I described in Tuesday's video. If you're interested in that exercise, I have created a breathe light product for my students, which you can find on my website. I'll be sure to include the link in the video description. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe to my channel. Also, the doors to my 4-week breath bootcamp are only going to remain open for a couple of more weeks. So if you are eager to deep dive into functional breathing for daily life, including things like the intermittent hypoxic hypercapnic training that I just described earlier, or reduced breathing exercises like Breathe Light, then please make sure you take advantage of this opportunity to join my new and improved bootcamp experience. It comes with lifetime access to the program, plus a free 30-day trial to my private online Be Light community, plus access to any and all future upgrades at no additional cost. I'm offering a discount on the program right now. I have payment options available. And if you are truly having financial difficulty and you really want to join the program, then please feel free to reach out to me and we can come up with a solution. Lastly, if you'd like to further support the channel and the work that I do here, you may always do so by visiting my Buy Me a Coffee page. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.